Hello friends, welcome to ProTalent and I am Nitin Parmar. I welcome you all for this important module called Nuclear Disarmament. My dear students, this module is very crucial because in one module you are going to get complete understanding about the issues related to nuclear weapons, nuclear disarmament, what are the important conventions. My dear students, okay, this issue is being talked about from this perspective that one agency of United Nations, which is called United Nations General Assembly, adopted India-sponsored convention against nuclear weapon. There were two conventions. One, convention on prohibition of use of nuclear weapon, and number two, reducing nuclear danger. We are going to discuss about in detail on this matter. What is nuclear disarmament? Okay, what happens because of that? What are the arguments in favor of nuclear disarmament? My dear students, when you are sitting for some interview and there is a nuclear disarmament issues are coming up, you need an argument in support of it. Yes or no? So here we are going to get those arguments. Number one, then we are going to discuss about what are the meanings of this recent convention, what has happened in this convention. Okay, then we will also talk about what is India's nuclear policy. There are so many countries, okay, who have nuclear weapons. So let me ask you a question. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many countries, how many countries are officially termed as, you can say, how many countries are officially known to have this nuclear weapons? Okay, ठीक है. Options are 5, 9, ठीक है, more than 9 or none. Okay, so here we are talking about nuclear weapons countries. Okay, this is interesting question. Remember this. Okay, so we will talk about this nuclear policy by India. In fact, when we you can say conducted this nuclear test, you remember during the time of Indira Gandhi, we conducted a test, and also during the time of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, we conducted this test. Yes or no? So, my dear students, okay, we had a very clear, you can say, no first use policy. Okay, this is very crucial. Now, that policy for foreign countries is very clear. Okay, but what about our internal scenario? We had a, you can say, nuclear bomb ready. We did not have a missile ready. Even after the missile got ready, we did not have a clear idea कि button कौन दबाएगा. You know, when US president, whenever he goes, now Mr. Joe Biden will go anywhere, he will go with a briefcase, which is known as football. He carries that football with him, and then there is a biscuit, which is having a code in his pocket. Okay, so whenever, let's say, wherever he is, he can simply use those code to launch nuclear weapons. India has a big challenge. So we are going to talk about that nuclear policy and what are the treaties in the world about nuclear related things. Okay, and what is India's status in it? What are the status of other countries is what we are going to discuss. So all four important issues are going to be discussed. Let's start to talk about what is nuclear disarmament. My dear students, nuclear disarmament refers to a process of reducing and eradicating nuclear weapons from the world. There are biological weapons, there are chemical weapons, there are conventions available to prohibit those weapons. In fact, in the world, biological weapons and this chemical weapons have been prohibited. There are some stray cases where these weapons are being used. Okay, so there was a stray case of Syria. Syria used some chemical weapons. That was the kind of news came. Okay, biological weapons are no longer there. Okay, there are people who are saying that look, corona is a biological weapon, but in a broader sense they have been removed. There is no convention about nuclear disarmament, reducing and eradicating nuclear weapons. There are nothing like that. It aims to eliminate the possibility of nuclear war. This is very crucial. So we know how World War II ended when you can say America used nuclear weapons on Japan. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a lot of devastating effect took place. Okay, remember, the arguments in favor of nuclear disarmament comes from a very simple argument that it is a catastrophic harm it commits. Okay, there is a long-term effect. It is not just short-term effect that there is a bomb and it impacts at that point in time, but the radiation goes over a longer period of time. There were some around, let's say, 40,000 people died because of the bomb attack, but due to radiation, more than lakh people died. Okay, so that means it has a long-term radiation effect. Humanitarian ground पे अगर हम देखें, so that is basically if someone wishes to remove this humanity from this earth, only then we can possibly go to this nuclear weapons. Okay, so on a humanitarian ground, it has to be stopped. Similarly, on an ethical ground, this nuclear arms do not distinguish between a civilian and a military personnel. So when war takes place, it is always, we can say, advised that you are fighting with the soldiers. You are not fighting with the civilians. In this scenario, there is no discrimination because radiation travels a lot. Remember, India had this problem, big ethical problem, because we are going to use nuclear weapon against, let's say, Pakistan or China. So because they are the countries which are neighboring countries and which have nuclear weapons and they are possibly having conflict with us. Fighting with China may be easy because we can actually, we can say, throw this bomb, nuclear bomb, at a very distant place in China so that we are not affected. But if we go and hit Pakistan anywhere, we can say, collateral damage to face. Yes or no? I'm sure you understand that. Because radiation may travel to India, may travel to Rajasthan, Punjab, a lot of region. Yes or no? So thereby, we needed nuclear bomb to the size of less than 1 kiloton. Nobody in the on this earth, no country on this earth has that kind of capability. We developed at a later stage. You can say less than 1 kiloton bomb. Okay. However, this large-scale loss of innocent lives, you can say, is not looking at soldiers or civilian. It kills everyone, even a small child. Okay. So that way, it will be a big problem. It has a big impact on economical front. I was reading a, you can say, recent comment by Antonio Guterres. He just said a comment today that if India and Pakistan goes for a war, that will have a huge economical impact to the world. Just imagine the economical impact this nuclear bomb will have. It is, you can say, beyond our, you can say, imagination. Okay, after this corona, it is all the more trouble. Okay, manufacturing of nuclear bomb is of low cost, but the impact is huge, possibly more than 1,000 billion. That's huge. Environmental impacts will be huge. Okay, and this is the only weapons of mass destruction, okay, which is still prevalent. It is not banned. Remember, since 1972, this biological weapons have been banned. 1993, chemical weapons have been banned. Remember, there is an organization which is working, that is that is, you can say, working on prohibition of chemical weapons. Okay, that organization has also received Nobel Peace Prize. But for the nuclear front, we don't have any such kind of organization. Okay, huge proliferation risk. Look at the number of weapons available with countries. Huge. These numbers are increasing. The stockpiles are increasing every day in, day out. Okay, that is creating all the more risk. There may be a risk that so many stockpiles may be sold to terrorists, and there may be a threat from the terrorist, and we may be on the, you can say, on the edge of the war, which is third world war, and possibly after that we may not survive. Okay, such kind of arguments are coming in favor of nuclear disarmament. Okay, you need to give those ethical argument, you need to give argument related to risk, you need to give argument related to precedence. This is very important. Now, when we talk about which are the conventions which are sponsored by India, that is Convention on Prohibition of Use of Nuclear Weapons. That's the first convention which is sponsored by India. Okay. It requests the Conference of Disarmament in Geneva to start a negotiation for an international convention prohibiting the use or the threat of use of nuclear weapons under any circumstances. Not even the threat is acceptable. This is sponsored by India in the Conference on Disarmament. Remember, it was tabled by India in 1982, and in this conference, UNGA adopted it, it is accepted it. Okay, this is very important. So, India's stand on this nuclear disarmament has a very important role. Remember this. Another convention which is called Resolution on Reducing Nuclear Danger. This is a resolution which is important because it is drawing attention of the globe to the risk of this unintentional and accidental use of nuclear weapon. Many times we can say there may be a possibility that we can say there is accidental use of this weapon. So we need to have a concrete step. India tabled this resolution in 1998. It is now adopted in November 2020 by United Nations General Assembly. Okay, so what is this? You can say a conference on disarmament. This is very important. It was formed in 1979. Okay, it was a single multinational disarmament negotiation forum. It has 65 states as the member, including India, and 38 members as an observer against the states. Okay, now what is India's stand in this disarmament? India has a very clear stand. India favors universal, verifiable, non-discriminatory nuclear disarmament. So, when we talk about United Nations, you can say Security Council, it is giving 5 nations the power, the veto power. It is discriminatory nuclear usage. Okay, NPT, CTBT is discriminatory in nature. So, when CTBT says that Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, it is stopping any non-nuclear country to do any kind of test. This is discriminatory. Who says that? It is those powerful nations. They are telling to the upcoming, the new country to do that. That's not acceptable. Yes or no? So India says we are not in favor of this, you can say, discriminatory nuclear disarmament. So therefore, we will not sign NPT. Therefore, we will not sign CTBT. Okay, this is very crucial and it has to be verifiable and universal. All of them should be part of it. India said we have a good clear policy of no first use against nuclear weapon states. Okay, remember this is very crucial. There are 2 aspects to this. One aspect says that this is a weak idea. Why? Because let's say someone attacks on you and then you take a decision, okay, then that's very bad because whatever the devastation has to be done, it has already been taken place. And now what you do is simply a retaliatory move. So therefore, this is a weak idea. What India says that, you can say, by doing this, the countries, you can say, are under obligation. If they use nuclear weapon, India says we are not going to use first. If you are using it, you have committed a mistake, and possibly the world over, all the countries will be in support of India. Possibly. This is a very important move. Okay, this is a very positive move. At the same time, for a national security imperative, it is needed. We must have nuclear, you can say, power, because look at Pakistan. Pakistan has a nuclear arsenal. Because of that, Pakistan is considered to be as powerful as India. You remove nuclear, it is easy that India is powerful. Okay, I hope you understand that. And if you talk about China, if the non-nuclear China is there, if there is non-nuclear China is there, then there is a possibility that India, you can say, develops their arms in such a way that technologically we may possibly compete with China. Even let's say after the arrival of Rafale, okay, we are competing with China to a great extent. But in this nuclear environment, nothing like it. Okay, so we need nuclear free environment. This is what India is demanding on this nuclear disarmament. Remember, it is very difficult to have this nuclear disarmament. Simply saying that, look, passing a resolution will not be okay. It requires complete global effort on the universal nuclear disarmament. Not just one country can do that. It is a global effort. Okay, it is needed. At the same time, nations have shown more tendency to attach to the nuclear power by giving credence to the emerging perceived threat, and therefore they say it is for their own security. It is must. Nuclear is must. India. Okay. Indira Gandhi gave the same reason. Atal Bihari Vajpayee gave the same reason. Yes or no? Even you can say the John Abraham gave the same reason. Anyway, security imperative, that is for our own security. It is a need of the hour. Okay. We must have this nuclear weapon, without which it will not be done. So many countries will give this kind of reason. Therefore, the only solution is universal nuclear disarmament. Okay, it is also acting as a nuclear deterrence. A country which has a power on a nuclear front, okay, nobody will say anything against them. That is called deterrence. It is the biggest deterrence. Okay, why police have a gun? Because it acts as a deterrence. Okay, so here also they say the nuclear weapons are acting as a deterrence. Okay, and therefore many countries believe to keep it. Remember, these arguments are from Indian point of view. India believes in this. There are so many of us believe in this. Then at the same time, the treaty compliance is a big problem. Who will verify it? The recent issues of Iran. Okay, Iran is, you can say, using this nuclear, you can say, a stockpile for civil use. Okay, that is being provided to them. They are misusing it to develop, you can say, weapon grade technology. Okay, and people say, how do we verify it? Iran is not allowing anyone to enter into, you can say, their premises, not even IAEA, that is International Atomic Energy Agency, that is not being allowed to enter into Iran to investigate the things. Then how will we reach to nuclear disarmament? All nations must be on board, and it is, let's say, complete disarmament is not achieved, but we need to understand that this explosive nuclear weapons, okay, should be stopped, and it should be used in a respectful manner. But you can see it is really difficult. It is very difficult. Where do we store this? Okay, where do we discard this? Is a problem. Okay, and arsenal dismantling is another challenge. Okay, look at the number of January 2020. Okay, how many weapons, nuclear warheads are there with the countries? How do we stop? One, two, three, four, five. You can say these are the powerful five countries. Look at Pakistan, India, Israel, North Korea. Yes, okay. These are the five official countries, okay, which have this. While this four, not official, but everyone knows they have nuclear weapons. Yes or no? Everyone knows that. Okay, officially five. Okay, the question which I asked you in the initial stage was about official thing. Okay, so these are the total 9 countries. Okay, so what is the status of this nuclear disarmament? So dosto, there are 9 states, okay, which have 14,900 nuclear warheads. Okay, remember, there are few countries like South Africa which developed their arsenal in 1991. Okay, they destroyed it to join NPT. Okay, while Belarus, Kazakhstan, Ukraine returned their arsenal to USSR. Brazil and Argentina abandoned their nuclear development programs before joining NPT. So, this is the current status. We expect these 9 countries to work on this nuclear disarmament. As of now, these are the 9 countries which have this nuclear warheads with them. Okay, this is very challenging and interesting. So what is the way forward now? So dosto, it is the time where we come together, the world together comes and decides on this nuclear disarmament. Not just one country can do that. What India has done, put a you can say sponsored convention. Remember, it was put up in 1998, which came in this talk, UNGA talk of 2020. Yes, so thereby now it is a kind of discussion happening. It is very crucial. Let's talk about what is India's nuclear doctrine. What is it? India's nuclear doctrine is on this points. Okay, it says building and maintaining a credible minimum deterrent. We want to have a deterrent, as you can say this weapons. So we have, you can say, nuclear triad achieved. Okay, I'm sure India has achieved this nuclear triad, okay, which means we can launch nuclear from anywhere, from sea, that is from water, from land, and from air. This is what we have achieved. Very few countries have achieved this, okay, but we want to use it as a minimum deterrent. We have limited weapons, that's it. We're not going to have more weapons, because nuclear weapons of, let's say, this numbers, okay, and so many numbers have no use. Okay, if you have so many nuclear weapons, what is the use? You are going to use only few of them, 4 or 5. That's it. Yes or no? We're not going to use all those 6,000 or 5,000 kind of numbers. Okay, I hope you are able to understand this. Okay, so thereby, if you look at it, India says we are going to maintain minimum deterrent. We have a good posture called no use. We can say no first use. Nuclear retaliation to a first strike will be massive and designated or designed to inflict unacceptable damage. So we have no first use policy, but if we retaliate, it is huge impact. Okay, remember, this is a big deterrent. Nuclear retaliatory attacks can only be authorized by civilian political leadership. Remember this. So we have Nuclear Command Authority, which came up some around in 2011. This is huge. But anyway, so there are steps available, and this is command authority is what we will fulfill. Non-use of nuclear weapons against non-nuclear weapon states. We will not use our nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states. Even they are going for war with us, we are not going to use it. However, in the event of major attack against India or Indian forces anywhere by biological or chemical weapons, India will retain the option open to retaliate via nuclear weapons. If you use biological weapon or chemical weapon, we will keep this option open. A continuance of strict control on exports of nuclear and missile related material on technologies is what we are going to continue, and continued commitment to the goal of nuclear weapons free world is what we are going to continue to follow. This is what India's stand. Everyone in the world knows about it, okay, and thereby it is acting as a big deterrent. Okay, it is acting as a big deterrent. So what is the strategic logic behind the adoption of NFU? I've already given that you can say idea to you. Okay, so for example, let's say we are not using the weapon first, but if you use against us, we have a strong action against you. Okay, this is interesting. So thereby it is always a good idea that we are telling to the world that look, we're not going to use it, so don't try with us. In case you want to have a war with us, have a war in a conventional manner. Okay, and thereby we have a national, you can say, nuclear command authority. So there is an executive council. Okay, this nuclear command authority is led by national security advisor, on whom, on whose advice you can say our political council will take a decision. So I'm sure you know who is the national security advisor to government of India. So what are the significance? As we mentioned, it is a credible minimum deterrence. Why it is credible? Because let's say we are saying we're not going to use it first, so people believe on it. Okay, this is very important. We assure that we have a second strike capability which will ensure India's survival in a nuclear attack by an adversary and cause massive punitive nuclear retaliation causing unacceptable damage to the aggressor. Look, India's nuclear escalation ladder, if we try and connect, it is when we connect it with Pakistan. If Pakistan ends up doing something wrong, only then we are going to use it. Okay, this is very important. Thereby, it is looked as we are responsible stakeholder. We are not having this, you can say, missiles in a rogue hand. So we are not becoming a rogue nation. Yes or no? ठीक है, we are a responsible nation. ठीक है, we believe in the Gandhian principle of non-violence. ठीक है, everyone in the world knows about this. ठीक है, people criticize this. People say it's a weak policy. When you are not attacking on the others, it's a weak policy. Western perception is that look, you are not powerful. ठीक है ना, that western non proliferation community that in practice India has already relinquished its nuclear doctrine, ऐसा लोग मानते हैं क्योंकि आपके पास तो पावर ही नहीं है. ठीक है, बट हालांकि मुझे लगता है कि ये एक अच्छी बात है. ठीक है, हमने जो पॉलिसी बना के रखी है, आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉलिसी. ठीक है, इट हेल्प्स अस. ओके, there is a preemptive strikes. Okay, so let's say for example you get to know that someone is going to attack on you on the nuclear front. What will you do? You will wait. ठीक है, you will wait for nuclear attack on you, or you will do this, you will retaliate by nuclear weapons. ठीक है, India says no first use, will allow them first to attack on us. ठीक है, and that is why the criticism is coming. ठीक है, people say that India's nuclear doctrine is changing because it is, you can say, connected to what Pakistan is doing or what China is doing. Okay, so thereby we should abandon this NFU, but I think we shouldn't. We shouldn't. Okay, what are the important treaties on this nuclear disarmament? Look at those. First is called Partial Test Ban Treaty. It prohibits nuclear weapons in the atmosphere, underwater, or in the outer space. ठीक है, but it allows nuclear testing, explosion underground. Okay, it was originally signed between UK, US, and USSR in 1963 to control nuclear proliferation. Today, 120 states are part of it. India is a part of it. Similarly, if we talk about Treaty of Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, which is known as NPT, India is not a signatory of this. Remember, it seeks to inhibit spread of nuclear weapons. Only states like USA, UK, Russia, China, and France have the power to make nuclear weapons. The non-nuclear weapon states cannot have this. There are three pillars on it. First pillar is the state parties commit to general and complete disarmament. Second pillar says that non-nuclear weapon states, okay, they forego development. And third pillar is the states are coming together for the universal disarmament. But this nuclear weapon states will continue. So thereby India says this is discriminatory nature. We don't agree with this. Okay, दोस्तों, this treaty is very vague. India has not signed it. Remember, India, Israel, South Sudan, Pakistan never signed NPT. North Korea has declared earlier to sign it, but then they withdraw it. Okay, so this is what the current status of NPT. Similarly, if we talk about CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, remember it all started with a negotiation in 1990, and then it opened for the signature in 1996. Okay, it came into the force by that time. Remember, India, China, USA, Democratic Republic of Korea, Iran, Pakistan, Israel, Egypt have not ratified this CTBT. Okay, this is very crucial. Okay, then Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapon. Okay, the origin is on the humanitarian ground. It has to be removed. The treaty was adopted in 2017. It will come into the force on January 22, 2021. India has not, you can say, ratified this. Okay, India has not ratified this. Okay, remember this. Okay, India is not the member of this. Remember, for this entire lecture, this event was a crucial event to understand this. Okay, very good. An NSG member. India is not a member of this NSG. Nuclear supplier group. 48 member countries are there. It is a consensus driven nuclear export countries which are exporting nuclear supply. Okay, NSG. India is not a member. Okay, India is not a member. China stops us from doing this. Okay, India has applied for NSG in 2016, but you can say this, you can say NSG is what we are not getting it. France received NSG membership without signing NPT, so India is also saying the same. China is stopping us from doing this, and there are a few other nuclear treaties, okay, which are available here. You can very well go through this. Okay, so my dear students, I'm sure you got complete idea of nuclear disarmament. Why did we start talking about? Because India sponsored conventions were approved by UNGA in November 2020. This is crucial. Number one. Number two, okay, what is the current status, okay, of nuclear disarmament? What are the arguments in favor of it? Okay, we talked about what are the important treaties, okay, and more importantly, one of the convention or one of the treaty came into existence on January 22, 2021, and India did not ratify it. Okay, I hope this is entirely clear to you. Thank you. दोस्तों, thank you for watching this. Do not miss out to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tell to large number of people to be part of it. Yes, do not miss out to be part of our Telegram channel. Okay, okay, that's wonderful channel. Also, you can very well take our test series and our courses from courses.protalentdigital.com. A wonderful place. ठीक है, you get free material as well on this. Throwback 2020 is freely available on this site. Okay, get it. Thank you very much. All the best.